Okay, well, my name is Lawrence, and I'm giving a refutation on Stephanie Hannis's argument about how the establishment of English-only laws will have negative effects on non-English speakers. And, well, first off, Stephanie had very less evidence to prove that how English-only laws will have negative impacts on non-English speakers. Most of her argument was based on facts about how English-only laws has started to, there's been less of it, but and how it was declared unconstitutional. Secondly, Stephanie states that English-only laws will have negative impacts on non-English speakers, but however, making English, however, from a source, an article I found by James Crawford, who studies language, he states that making English the official language does not mean other languages cannot be used in day-to-day private life. It also doesn't mean that in emergency circumstances, translation would not be provided. So what this is saying is that English-only laws wouldn't have much effect on people in our nation. It will have, it won't negatively affect them, but it will have very less impact on them. And thirdly, Stephanie states that English-only laws single out minorities. And from an organization I found from the pro-English, from an organization called the Pro-English from Virginia, they state that English as having English as a national language, it promotes the use of English to allow communication, understanding, and empathy between different groups of people who share a common I really can't say that word. But basically, it states that from what you get of this, English-only laws wouldn't single out minorities, or will encourage minorities to leave, to learn English and better our relationship between cultures in our nation. So English-only laws overall won't have a negative impact on non-English speakers, but it won't do that much damage to have it. Thank you.
All right, Lawrence, you labeled the advocate's claim pretty clearly. The secondary points, there's no preview of what the secondary points are, but you are trying to label them as you go along, although I thought you did a clear job on the first and the third point. I think the middle point got a little bit lost. Your challenges to the advocate's argument basically are just counterclaims suggesting that there wouldn't be any harm of having English as an official language, and in fact there would be benefits of having English as an official language. There's not really any discussion of the advocate's evidence itself or the reasoning that the advocate used on those particular points. There's not even much of a recap of what the advocate's arguments were on those points, so I'm not exactly sure how the counterclaims apply to the argument that you're presenting. You sound very uncertain as you're getting involved in the argument as to where you're headed with your claims, and you need to present a much more confident and forceful way of conveying those ideas. I think you've got two good counterclaims that you're going to apply here, and you need to say, on the first point, I'm not going to look at all of the justifications that she's given for her position, but I have one conclusion to make on this, and that is that the absence or the application of an official language will have no significant harm to anybody. And there you go, make the claim that way. And I think if you express it a little bit more forcefully, even though you're not always analyzing the advocate's supporting points, you'll have a lot of clarity on your point, which will stand in contrast to the advocate's position. All right, thank you.